There comes a moment in life when we stop and ask ourselves, what is this all for? We wake up, go through our routines, chase after goals, and yet, something inside us whispers that there must be more. Even in moments of success, when we achieve what we once thought would fulfill us, there's often a lingering emptiness. This hunger for meaning is not a flaw in our design. It is not something to be ignored, numbed, or silenced. It is a signpost pointing us toward the one who made us. C.S. Lewis, one of the greatest Christian minds of the modern era, spent much of his life wrestling with these very questions. His insights offer a profound perspective on why we feel this longing and where we can find true purpose. He once wrote, "If we find ourselves with a desire that nothing in this world can satisfy, the most probable explanation is that we were made for another world." This statement holds a key truth. Our yearning for meaning is not meant to be satisfied by the temporary pleasures of this world. It is a longing for something beyond. But what does that mean? And how do we begin to understand our purpose in light of this? Let's take a journey through the thoughts of C.S. Lewis to uncover the deeper meaning behind our existence. The illusion of self-sufficiency. Lewis knew firsthand what it meant to search for meaning in the wrong places. As a young man, he was an atheist convinced that human reason alone was sufficient to explain life. He pursued knowledge, personal ambition, and the joys of intellectualism, but none of these things satisfied the deeper longing within him. It was only after much resistance that he came to an unsettling realization. He had been running from the very thing his soul was crying out for. He described his conversion to Christianity as being the most reluctant convert in all of England. He didn't want God to be real, because if he was, then everything about life had a purpose beyond mere survival. Everything had meaning. Lewis compared our resistance to God to a child who insists on playing in the mud because he cannot imagine what it would be like to experience a holiday by the sea. We settle for less because we do not yet understand what we were made for. He wrote, "We are half-hearted creatures, fooling about with drink and sex and ambition when infinite joy is offered us. Like an ignorant child who wants to go on making mud pies in a slum because he cannot imagine what is meant by the offer of a holiday at the sea. We are far too easily pleased." What if the life we are living, no matter how successful or comfortable, falls short of what we were truly created for? The true nature of purpose. Lewis believed that our true purpose is not something we create for ourselves, but something we discover by aligning with the one who made us. He compared the human soul to a machine designed to run on a specific type of fuel. And that fuel? It's God Himself. God made us. Invented us as a man invents an engine. A car is made to run on petrol, and it would not run properly on anything else. Now God designed the human machine to run on Himself. He Himself is the fuel our spirits were designed to burn, or the food our spirits were designed to feed on. There is no other. This explains why so many people feel lost, even when they have everything the world tells them should bring happiness. We try to run on the wrong fuel. We chase after success, relationships, entertainment, and personal ambition, but none of it sustains us. We were designed to be in communion with God, and when we live apart from Him, we are like an engine trying to run on water. It simply won't work. Becoming more ourselves. One of the greatest fears people have about faith is that following God means losing themselves, that surrendering to Him means giving up their identity. But Lewis argued the opposite. He believed that the more we align with God's will, the more we actually become who we were meant to be. The more we let God take us over, the more truly ourselves we become, because He made us. Think about that for a moment. We often chase after identity by trying to create it ourselves, by defining who we are through achievements, labels, or personal reinvention. But if we were designed by a creator, then our truest self can only be found when we live according to the purpose he intended for us. To fight against that purpose is to fight against our very nature. But to embrace it, that is when we finally become fully alive. That of the choice before us, C.S. Lewis famously wrote that in the end, there are only two kinds of people: those who say to God, "Thy will be done," and those to whom God says, "All right then, have it your way." This is the great choice before each of us. Will we continue searching for meaning in things that cannot fulfill us? Will we keep running from the one who designed us for something greater? Or will we surrender, not as an act of loss, but as the greatest discovery of all? Lewis did not believe that Christianity was just another philosophy or moral system. He believed it was the very answer to the deepest questions of the human heart. That the longing we feel for purpose is actually an invitation to step into the life we were meant to live. And when we say yes to that invitation, we are not stepping into restriction, but into freedom. Give up yourself, and you will find your real self. Lose your life, and you will save it. Submit to death. Death of your ambitions and favorite wishes every day, and death of your whole body in the end. Submit with every fiber of your being, and you will find eternal life. The paradox of purpose is this: when we stop trying to define it for ourselves and surrender to the one who created us, we don't lose our identity. We finally find it. So ask yourself, have you been searching for purpose in things that cannot truly satisfy? Are you willing to consider that your longing for meaning is actually a call from the one who made you? What would happen if, instead of resisting, you chose to step into the life God has for you? If this message spoke to your heart, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who needs to hear this today. May you find the courage to stop running, the wisdom to seek truth, and the joy of discovering what you were made for. God bless you.